consume so much weed?
Why
Why
they?
they use so much weed, ganja?
Oh.
Why they smoke so much? No, because I mean it's not like 2 3 minutes. They really,
Why?
they're crack.
You think that I know the answer? I'm their friend.
No, so I did ask them. I asked them why you smoke so much, and they told
No,
me
what
because
happens
it
is that,
helps.
yeah, it does help the meditation. Meditation means
Yeah,
that
that's
they
what.
go into a the thought process.
Hmm.
The thought process gets changed so that they focus only on one object.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's
They,
what they
it
told me.
relaxes their
Like,
mind, I think.
yeah, it helps for meditation to like stay inward, and
The
so that's
I,
why they smoke. Oh,
their idea was that initially they will take those ganja, etc., and they will stay in the meditation of Shiva. And afterwards, their amount of ganja they go on taking more and more. So it becomes problem. And then they get addicted to it. It's okay. I mean, they don't have family and all that. Then
I
nobody else is
what you
affected.
said.
That's okay. If they have a family, it will be a problem. There are 2, 3 types of those drugs are there. Some of them are mild and some are. Anyway, they don't have money, so they can't do too much. They are automatically limited by the amount of money.
Sorry, I heard that this wheat is considered holy plant for Shiva because during the churning of the ocean by Shiva, they say that wheat was one of the things that Shiva took out from this kind
No,
of ocean.
no,
And
no.
that's why in some Shivaratri temple, for example in Pashupatinath,
Ah,
during Shivaratri, they gave this bang for the people for free, which is made also by ganja and this lassi. Is it
yeah, but
correct?
no. The what happens is that the story of the that ocean thing is that, see, there is a mythological story that there was a uh, elixir of immortality. That means there is one substance. It is called elixir amrut. Means
Mm-hmm.
it is a substance which if you take that substance, your body will not die. So now what happens is that substance was at the bottom of the ocean, and
Mm-hmm.
so the problem was that to remove that substance from the ocean, uh, they had to churn the whole ocean. So now how can they churn the ocean? Because the ocean is very big to churn. So
Mm-hmm.
the demons, demons means powerful but bad thought people, and the asuras and suras. Suras means the god, demigods,
Mm-hmm.
and they got together and they decided that they will use the Meru mountain as the tool for churning. So they both sides they stood at the Vasuki, who is the serpent of Vishnu, who Vishnu sleeps on the serpent called Vasuki. So that Vasuki became a rope and they churned that ocean. And there are 9 things came out of that. And those 9 things are extremely valuable. One of them is Lakshmi goddess. She comes out of that. Then uh, and poison also comes out of that. So that symbology is that whenever you try to do anything good, you have to do a tapas, like you have to work hard to get it. And when you work hard, always good things will not come. Some bad things also will come.
Mm-hmm.
So that bad, one of the thing is poison. and that poison, the Lord Shiva drinks that poison because nobody else can handle that poison. And when Lord Shiva drinks that poison, he holds it in his throat, and that's why the Lord Shiva's throat becomes dark blue, and that is why the Lord Shiva is called Neelakant, which is my name. So that Lord Shiva, his throat is blue, not weeds. The weeds has nothing to do with that. The weeds are used by the devotees of Shiva to maintain a state of like a kind of hypnotic state, or I don't know how to say that. It is a state where they have become subdued. The senses, thoughts are subdued, and they are able to stay in that subdued thought. So, but that is not a correct way of meditating.
Yeah.
But they use that one, and Shiva himself never takes that. That is the devotees of Shiva take it. And also some of them are in the Himalayas. So in the Himalayas, they prefer to smoke and feel hot or something like that. I think they counter act the cold weather. But many of the Shiva temples, you will see that they are smoking that ganja. Now the one they drink on the holy day, that the bhang is not very powerful. Bhang is a very mild sedative. So if you take the bhang with the milk or lassi, then it makes you little bit sedate. So they use it on the holy day that will come in March. So very soon that Holy Purnima will come. I think the next full moon day, that they play, and that Holi has its own meaning, and then they will drink that bhang and go to sleep. They even give that bhang in the general public on that day. It is not supposed to be very powerful. So then what happens is that they ultimately find that elixir. When the elixir comes, the problem was that the demonic people, they were supposed to be bad thoughts. So they thought that if they get that power of the immortality, they will play a lot of havoc in the world. Just like if the nuclear power goes into the hands of a bad administrator, it can create problem. So the demigods go to they go to one place and they tell that all these demons, we are agreed to give them this elixir, and if they get the elixir, they will create some extreme problem. So later there was I think there was a fight between the demons and the demigods, and the Ganesh, etc. They helped them. That part I can't tell you just now, but so the demons ultimately don't get that elixir. That is the story.
Mhm.
Okay, now
Interesting.
And
uh,
can I ask if Shiva, I mean, is one of the three main gods, but is also an historical person? Like we believe that he existed.
he is a purple color.
No, I mean, if it's more of only as a god, but also he's a person that actually existed.
No, what happens is that I told you that originally all those gods, they are only some kind of powers or energies in the universe, like a power of rain, power of sunshine, um, power of the property. Property means like there is some concept called property. That means if person has that property, his living becomes comfortable. That's a property. So these these are in the Vedic mantras. These gods are prayed. They have no form. So that form of Shiva that time was called Rudra. Later, when the philosophy started, they tried to interpret what the Vedic mantras are telling in terms of life, and they added Upanishadic philosophy, and then they came to know that this philosophy is difficult for people to understand because they are not used to abstract ideas. So Vyasa, the same person who wrote Mahabharata, he also wrote 18 different stories, big stories, and they are called Purana. Purana means story, and one of the Puran is called Shiva Puran. So in these stories, what he did was he personified all those powers. So all the powers now became like human beings, but they are not exactly like human beings. They have 4 hands. Sometimes they have 4 hands or 3 eyes, or they have some weapons which are extremely powerful. So these Vishnu, Ganesh, all these were Vedic deities. They became now with a form, some kind of form, and those are the stories. So there is a Puran called Shiva Puran, in which all the stories related to Shiva are given. And those stories contain some poems, some prayers, some mantras, and also the actual story, like he went there, sat there, something like that. So all these stories, they are very, very, very interesting to read those stories or watch them on television nowadays. So when you watch those stories, slowly, slowly, the ideas of those stories go into your mind. For example, in the Ramayana, Ramayana is a history, story, as well as spiritual book. So that when you hear the Ramayana, in that Ramayana, there is a king called Rama, and Rama only has one wife. So he always is totally loyal to his wife, and he never gets attracted by any other woman, and ultimately in that story they get separated. That time also he keeps on not going to any other woman, but at that time the kings were allowed more than one wife, but he doesn't follow that. And because the Ramayana became very popular story, from that time onwards, to have one wife became a very important part of Hindu philosophy, that they should have only one wife and they should only dedicate to their wife. So that's why all the Indian people, na, they once they are married, they call the other people's wives as sisters or mothers or like that. They never directly say, "Hey, hello, Veronica, how are you?" They will say Veronica Amma, means mother or something like that. So the idea of calling the other woman as Amma or as sister or something like that, that idea is that you are not attracted by the, like suppose, let us say Sophia Loren. I meet Sophia Loren. Now, if I start calling sister Sophia Loren, then I will not be attracted to her. Because after I repeat many times, even if she is very sexy, it will not attract me. But suppose I call her beautiful Sophia Loren every time, then I will physically get attracted to her somewhat. But that is exactly what most of the people want nowadays. But that was the idea. So the idea is that by telling the stories, that principle behind that story becomes very ingrained, and it becomes to the extent that people actually believe that yes, there is somebody Shiva, he has a long hair and like that. But Shiva is a god, it doesn't have any physical body, because physical body dies. He's beyond the body. Okay, so the Trinity of God, this Trinity of God comes from the concept of Vedas, that is, that everything in the universe is created first and then it stays for some time. That means there is some power or some power which takes care of it until that thing dies. and ultimately that thing vanishes, not dies, but vanishes. So when it vanishes, it goes into another form. So there is always three things happening: coming, staying, and going. So these three powers are called Vishnu, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. Understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So coming back to Steffi's, she wanted to know about the symbolism behind Shiva's symbols. So
Yes.
now what happens is that you have to understand one thing. See, first thing is all this picture of Shiva, that is definitely coming from Shiva Puran. Okay, Shiva Puran has 25,000 verses. So it is a very big Puran. Like it will be probably, if you look at YouTube, it will be at least minimum 6 hours or 16-hour
Mhm.
audio. So that Shiva Puran has stories, and the persons who have read those stories again and again and again, they have also the yoga part. I told you last time that the yoga part comes from Shiva, and there certain description of Shiva is given in those stories and the yoga part. That description has created this symbolism. That you have to understand where the symbolism is coming from. Now, because there are many stories and many texts on Shiva, that symbols, some of the symbols are different, and some symbols which are not different, like they are the same symbol, but they have different meaning in different texts. So there is no fixed list like this means that, but we can get some ideas. For example, one symbol is that the Shiva is carrying trident, and that trident has three points. So
Mhm.
these, I told you that these three are very important in every culture. So in terms of the philosophy, there are three gunas: sattva, rajas, and tamas, and that form the material universe. That is why the entire material universe is made up of three gunas, and that material universe is depicted by a Shakti, which is the Parvati or the goddess. So that goddess Durga, who is the wife of Shiva, she carries also that trident. You will see that Durga Mata is also carrying the trident. So this trident, in one sense, it represents Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. But it also represents that trinity of God, that is creation, staying, and going.
Mhm.
So also this trident is supposed to have extreme power. So you will find that all those gods in the stories or Vedas, they have powers, they have special powers which are not with the human beings. So they carry some kind of weapons. Each of those, like Vishnu carries one wheel, it is called Sudarshan Chakra. It is always he's carrying on the finger. That same Sudarshan Chakra appears in the Krishna's hand. Then there is maybe another god which carries a weapon called Gada, which is like a big round with one stick. And Shiva is carrying this trident. So every deity or every god has a weapon. So that weapon, in case of Shiva, is this trident, and he uses that trident to kill the uh, bad forces, like who are extremely bad forces. Like ordinary human beings cannot win them. So those who have got extreme powers and extremely powerful bad sources, those sources can be destroyed only by gods. So he uses this trident to do that. So that is the trident in his hand.
Mhm.
Okay, then there is that small drum, and that small drum has uh, it is the symbol of the sound, and I told you that sound is forming the entire sound is nothing but a form of vibration, and the entire world is made up of material things, and those material things are always in a vibratory state. So we can't see that they are vibrating, but actually the nucleus and that at subatomic particles, they are in a vibratory state. So we cannot hear those sounds because there is a range of sound which a human being can hear. All other sound is not heard by the human beings. Some animals, they can hear more sound. This damaru, when you play that damaru, sound comes out of. So it is representing the sound. It also represents om sound. But there is one more thing, that the Sanskrit language, the original Sanskrit language has 52 letters, and that grammar of the Sanskrit language is written by Panini. And the story of Panini is that Panini is meditating on Shiva. And at one point, after a lot of meditation, Shiva comes in the vision and plays that drum. And that drum gives out 52 letters exactly. And from those 52 letters, Panini forms the entire grammar sutras. So those grammar sutras are called Ashtadhyayi. ASHTADHYAYI. Ashtadhyayi means 8 chapters. So there are 8 chapters of Sanskrit grammar that is written 300 years before Christ. And it's surprisingly, there is no single improvement done to that even now. That means that the grammar is so perfect that there is no addition or anything done to that Panini's grammar in last 2000, 3000 years. So that Panini's grammar has, I think, maybe 700 sutras or something like that, or 7,000 sutras, I don't know. And out of that, the first 16 sutras, I will tell you, first 16 sutras are like this. I urna ruluka e onga I au chahaya varadalan yamagana nama jabai gadadasha jaba gadadasha kapa chatata chatata va kapai shasharahal. So he gives the first 14 sutras, and then he tells that these sutras are given to me by Lord Shiva. He says, Iti Maheshwarani Sutrani. That means the Maheshwar means the Shiva has given me these sutras. So when you sing those 13 sutras, it sounds like drum. You can see. I urna, ruluka e onga, I au chahaya varadalan yamangana nama jabai gadadasha jaba gadadasha kapa chatata chatata va kapai chachasara hal. So these Panini Sutras we have to memorize if you want to become Sanskrit scholars. Anyway, so that drum represents the language, Sanskrit language, and the sound, and all the language is coming from the sound only. Then on his forehead there are 3 marks. Those 3 marks are same thing as the 3 that the weapon. Trident. Then, and all the Shiva devotees, they wear those 3 marks on his forehead. Then there is a water coming out of his matted locks. That water is Ganges river, and that Ganges river is a extremely important contribution. That there was once a big famine, like there was no water, I think, like that. And then there was one king. That king, he does tapas. Tapas means he does austerity. He stands on one leg for many, many years. And he prays to the divinity to give the water. So they sent that water, that is the Ganges river. She lives in heaven that time. So they sent that Ganges river to the earth. But when Ganges comes, it is so much heavy pour that they think that it will completely wash out the entire earth. So they pray to Shiva, and Shiva, he attracts that whole water into his matted locks and then slowly gives it away to all the parts of India. So now you have to understand it like this. See, Himalayas, on the top of Himalaya is the heaven, and there is a source of Ganges which is coming from Himalayan top called Gangotri. I'm going to go there very soon. So that Gangotri, the water falls down, and it is coming to the through the matted locks of Shiva, and therefore it slowly goes to the Varanasi and then goes to I think other parts of Punjab, and then slowly goes all over India. So they believe that all the water in India is coming from Ganges only. That's what their belief is. So this Ganges is a wife of Shiva. She marries Shiva later. So it's a very complex story.
Yes.
So you have to read that Shiva Puran, or maybe there is a video. I will try to find for you. If there is a video, it will be very, very interesting, because they take very good actors for these movies, and there is a Shiva, you know, that Shiva acts as Shiva. It's very interesting to watch that. So that is one symbol of, that is one more symbol. Then there is a snake. That snake represents Kundalini, definitely. That snake is representing Kundalini, and also, in my opinion, that snake is representing some kind of non-violence, because Shiva is meditating. All these snakes are around him, but they don't harm him at all. He is engulfed into the lot of snakes, and those snakes are not harming him. So he is fearless, and he is meditating. That's why there is no violence in his mind. He's totally peaceful, and that those snakes are not harming him. That is another interpretation. But I think the snake represents the Kundalini, and Shiva is called as the god of yoga. So that is the snake. And then there is that bull. That bull is the, what happens is that all these deities, just like they have a weapon, they also have one vehicle on which they travel. So that vehicle is nothing but one animal generally, and that animal has done some good deeds in the past. So that animal gets a chance to stay with that god all the time. So this Nandi, which is the bull, he's a devotee of Shiva from many lives. So he gets a chance to stay with Shiva all the time. And this bull represents the strength and purity and devotion to Shiva, etc. All this it represents. And it also represents the idea that even the animal can get a position next to the god. It's not always human being only. So that is the idea of the bull. Any question?
What about that? Let's say leopard, like rope he has.
Rope.
Yes, usually he has
Rope. Yeah,
leopard
yeah.
carpet.
Yeah, no,
tiger rope.
that idea of the tiger skin is
Tiger,
that
yes.
I told you that in the past, when the people sit for meditation, they need something which makes that ground neither very hot nor very cold. So it is a insulating material. So what they do is, when they see the tiger skin of a dead tiger, they clean that skin and use it as a seat for their meditation. And then when they feel cold or something like that, they carry it on there.
Okay.
I think my father's guru's guru, he used to have that tiger skin. My father's guru's guru, he lived entire life. The only thing he did was he will drink only milk once in the day, and that's all. No, nothing else he ate. but he will do 700 sun salutation every day.
Wow.
So it took him 4.5 hours. Everybody has to wait for him until he completes all of them. But after he completes them, he whatever milk is available that time, he will drink it. That's all once. And after that, he won't eat anything. Like this, he spent whole life.
Wow.
And he met my father's guru when my father's guru was only 12-year-old boy that time. So he used to go to one Hanuman temple, and that time this yogi was sitting there. So they talked to each other and they started liking each other. But after 3-4 days, the yogi has to leave that place. So when he left the place, that yogi asked his parent that, can I have this boy, because this boy is very special. So they had only one boy, but he said that after 12 years, I'll return your boy. So they go in various places, and that boy learns the entire Hatha Yoga. And then after that, when he becomes 24-year-old, the boy comes back. And my father's guru's guru, he takes samadhi in the Varanasi, in that Ganges river. So he enters live into that Ganges river. And then he tells him some further things, which I will tell you another day.
Excuse me. Shiva
Yeah.
also has a half moon on his head, right?
Yeah, that half moon, I don't know. That moon has, I actually don't know what is the significance of moon,
Okay.
half moon. It may be displaying knowledge or coolness, cool karni. I think it is something to do with knowledge, perhaps, or beauty also. It does look beautiful, I think. Maybe you should start a new tradition, like all the Italian girls, they wear this moon in the hair as a new style.
I like it.
It can become popular, actually. It will become popular, and you should, if you are American, you will immediately patent it. So every time people wear it, you get money for it. It is so old. It is very, very old tradition, and it is so vast that it is impossible to know when and how it started. It is impossible to know exactly when it started. Only you can make some speculations. And
Yeah.
the Indian people, another thing about Indian people is they are not interested in knowing when it started, how it started. They want to do it. Like
Mhm.
they don't want to know when the mango started first time. They want to eat the mangoes. So they never write down some things like that. Whereas the European people, they like to write a history and they keep a museum, etc. So
Yeah.
that way the dates are known, that something happened this date. Or even in Europe, certain things are not known. Like they don't know when certain things are. I saw one bridge in Italy, it was written there that this bridge is built in 1 AD, year 1, which is near, what is that place where Isara lived? It comes,
Bologna.
not that place. It is
Mm.
near the Napoli, and from Napoli to, you have to go towards Selina or something in that area. There is a bridge, and there is also one Colosseum there, just like the Roman Colosseum. That small Colosseum I saw. It is, I don't know what's the name of the city, but there was one bridge there I saw. It is 1 AD. Salerno, maybe Salerno.
Salerno. Yeah.
Year 1 AD, that is like, I mean, it's unbelievable. And I saw that bridge. It is very, very old. And they said that that bridge is so strong that even now they are using it. It's made of stone. Hmm. So did you hear the audios I gave? Videos or audios?
Not yet.
Yeah, you will like them. So that Om Namah Shivaya or there are so many things about Shiva, that Mahashivratri, and then there are so many small uh, festivals, or there are small observances that are called rituals or observations that ladies follow. Like for example, there may be a lady which reads every Monday that Shiva Puran little bit, and she will go to the Shiva temple and offer some milk. She's go on doing like that. Like my mother, when I was around, let's see, when I was around 14 years old, my mother decided that she will offer 100,000 flowers of jasmine to Lord Shiva. So what she will do is, in the morning, she will wake up and she will go to the neighboring trees and she will pluck those flowers, and then she will count them exactly, and she will offer those flowers to Shiva. I can't believe that it took few years. We used to go in the morning and pluck for her. So she completed that. That is called Lakholi. 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 Lakholi means lakh means 100,000. And I mean, we lived in a very small place where few trees were there, only 2, 3 trees. So just imagine, we have to collect those flowers and count them every day. Like sometimes 100, sometimes 200, 500, and go on doing that until she finished the 100,000. And also that temple where she worshipped Shiva is around half an hour walk from our house. So every Monday she went to that temple without shoes. And I myself went with her many times. So she went to that temple, I think at least 11 years every Monday without a single break. And I went with her many times, because on the way there was this fruit market and she will give me some fruit or something like that. That time we were very poor. So even buying like a banana was considered as extremely great party or something. But it was fun because she will give me that sweet. There are 12, I told you, there are 12 parts in India where the Shiva is very predominant. One is in Nepal, one is in Kailash, which is in the cold part of Himalayas. And then there is one near my house. They are called Jyotirling. So some people, they decide a pilgrimage that they will visit all these 12. Once they visit all 12, they feel that they are great accomplishment as far as devotional practice. So that is very interesting. Anything else? I think you should hear those videos. They are extremely well done. Especially that girl. It's totally divine. By the way, that girl lives in Kerala.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to meet that girl, but now she is almost 25. I don't think they will allow me to meet her. She is now 25. I'm writing to her for last 2, 3 years, but she lives around 5 hours from here, and I want to really meet her because she has done a great practice. It's not so easy. She is reaching very high level of music skill. Of course, South Indian, but Banaras is considered one of the top places for learning North Indian classical music. There is one teacher I know in Banaras, but he may be not there anymore. His name is, I will find you his name. He wrote a music book on music. But what you should do is, I think you should find out in Banaras whether there is a concert on Drupad music. Let me write it here. Drupad music. Banaras is supposed to be great for that. And
Oh.
that is a special kind of Indian music. That is where the music is coming from. Indian classical music is coming from there. That original Drupad music. Drupad. And they use only they only use the drum which is called pakhavach, both sided. It's very difficult to understand that music because it is totally original swaras are there. Drupad music. Okay, so let us stop for now and we'll meet on Saturday. I think I will be going to Munnar, Steffi, on Saturday.
Yeah.
I think I decided, I saw that in Munnar, the places are not more expensive than here. And there are some yoga places there. So it was very hot 2 days, very, very hot here. So I'm going
Yes.
to go there and I'm going to try if I can find some yoga place there. And when it is very hot here, I will go there. Like that, I'll try to spend more time in Kerala from next year.
Mm-hmm.
And also escaping from heat now here.
Yeah.
I still
Good
have
idea.
I have 20 more days to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Enjoy. So we will meet on Saturday, you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ciao, Veronica.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. She's already gone?
Yeah,
Very-
I can see her.
Oh, she's here.
Okay.
Maybe she's taking ganja.